The night was quiet at Seoul Metropolitan Hospital. Nurse Minji walked slowly through the children's ward, checking on her small patients. Most of them were sleeping peacefully. The soft beeping of machines and the gentle hum of air conditioning were the only sounds in the hallway. Minji loved working the night shift. During the day, the hospital was busy and loud. Parents worried about their sick children. Doctors rushed from room to room. But at night, everything was calm. She could spend more time with each child, making sure they were comfortable. She stopped at room 302 to check on little Yoonji, a 5-year-old girl with pneumonia. The child was breathing better now. Her fever had gone down. In a few days, she would go home to her family. Minji smiled and adjusted the blanket around the sleeping girl. As she walked to the next room, Minji heard a strange sound. It was like metal being torn apart. She stopped and listened. The sound came again, louder this time. It seemed to come from somewhere below, maybe the first floor. Then the alarm started. Red lights flashed in the hallway. A loud siren echoed through the building. Minji had worked at the hospital for 8 years, but she had never heard this alarm before. It was different from the fire alarm or the medical emergency signal. Her radio crackled to life. The voice of Security Captain Hyunwoo came through, sounding worried and confused. "All staff, we have an unknown situation on the first floor. Something has broken through the main entrance. I repeat, something has broken through the main entrance. This is not a drill." Minji felt her heart start beating faster. What could break through the main entrance? The hospital had strong glass doors and security gates. They were designed to keep out dangerous people or animals. She quickly checked on her patients. Most of the children were still sleeping. The alarms had not woken them yet, but a few were starting to stir. 7-year-old Minho sat up in his bed looking scared. "Nurse Minji, what's that noise?" he asked. "It's just a test of the alarm system," Minji lied, trying to keep her voice calm. "Go back to sleep. Everything is okay." But everything was not okay. Through her radio, she could hear Hyunwoo talking to his security team. His voice was getting more worried with each report. "Unit 2, what do you see on the cameras?" "Sir, I don't know how to describe it. It looks like some kind of large animal, but it's walking on 2 legs, and it has 4 arms." "That's impossible. Check the cameras again." "Sir, I'm looking right at it. The creature is about 3 meters tall. It has scales like a lizard, but it's much bigger. And sir, it's heading toward the medical wing." Minji felt cold fear run through her body. A 3-meter-tall creature with scales and 4 arms? That sounded like something from a science fiction movie, not real life. Dr. Sungjin, the head of the children's department, came running down the hallway. His usually neat hair was messy and his face was pale. "Minji, we need to move the children," he said quickly. "Something has entered the hospital. We don't know what it wants, but we can't take any risks." "What kind of something?" Minji asked, though she was afraid of the answer. "Security says it's not human. It broke through the reinforced walls like they were made of paper. But here's the strange part. It's not attacking anyone. It's just walking through the hospital." Dr. Sungjin's radio buzzed. It was Dr. Jiwon from the emergency room. "Sungjin, are you there?" "I'm watching the security feed. The creature is carrying something in its lower arms. It looks like a bundle of cloth." "A bundle? What kind of bundle?" "Can't tell from here. But the way it's holding it, it's very careful. Like it's something precious." Minji and Dr. Sungjin looked at each other. Why would a dangerous creature be carrying something carefully? And why was it heading toward the medical wing? Through the hospital's speaker system, they heard Hyunwoo's voice again. "All patients and staff on floors 1 through 3. Please move to the upper floors immediately. Use the emergency stairs, not the elevators. This is for your own safety." Minji started waking up the children in her ward. She tried to sound calm and cheerful, like this was just a fun adventure. "Wake up, everyone. We're going to have a sleepover on the 4th floor tonight. Isn't that exciting?" Some of the older children looked worried. They could hear the alarms and see the flashing lights. But Minji and the other nurses kept smiling and talking in happy voices. Slowly, they started moving the children toward the emergency stairs. As they walked, Minji could hear more reports coming through the radios. The creature is on the second floor now. It's still not attacking anyone. A few staff members got too close and it just walked around them. Wait, I can hear something. It sounds like crying, but not human crying. Minji stopped walking. Crying? The bundle the creature was carrying. Could it be a baby? But that was impossible. Creatures with scales didn't have babies that cried. Like human babies. Dr. Dongho from the baby care unit joined them in the stairway. He was helping to carry some of the smaller children. Has anyone actually seen this creature up close? He asked. Only on the security cameras, Dr. Shungjin replied. But the guards say it looks like a giant lizard that walks like a person. That doesn't make sense, Dr. Dongho said. Lizards don't walk on 2 legs, and they don't have 4 arms. As they reached the 4th floor, Minji looked back down the stairway. In the distance, she could hear heavy footsteps. They were slow and careful, not like someone who was trying to hurt people. Then she heard it. A soft sound that made her stop breathing for a moment. It was crying. Weak, sad crying. Like a very sick baby. Did you hear that? She whispered to Dr. Shungjin. He nodded. It sounds like an infant in distress. More footsteps echoed in the stairway below them. The creature was getting closer, and with each step, the crying got a little louder. Minji made a decision that would change everything. Instead of continuing up to the 5th floor with the other children, she handed her patients to another nurse. Take them upstairs, she said. I need to go back. Minji, no, Dr. Shungjin said. It's too dangerous. That's a baby crying, Minji said firmly. I'm a nurse. I can't ignore a baby who needs help no matter what its parent looks like. She started walking back down the stairs, her heart pounding with fear and determination. Behind her, she heard Dr. Shungjin sigh and follow her footsteps. If we're going to do this, he said, we're going to do it together. The crying was getting louder now, and somewhere below them, heavy footsteps continued climbing toward the children's ward. Minji and Dr. Shungjin reached the 3rd floor just as the creature appeared at the top of the stairs. For a moment, nobody moved. Minji had seen many strange things in her years as a nurse, but nothing had prepared her for this. The creature was even more impressive than the security reports had described. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, with dark blue scales that seemed to shimmer in the hospital lights. Its body was roughly human-shaped, but broader and more muscular. 2 strong legs supported its weight while 4 arms hung at its sides. Its head was elongated, with large golden eyes that seemed intelligent and sad. But what made Minji's breath catch in her throat was not the creature's size or appearance. It was the way it held the small bundle in its lower arms. So gently. So carefully. Like any parent holding a sick child. The creature's golden eyes focused on Minji and Dr. Shungjin. For several seconds, they all stood frozen. The only sound was the soft, weak crying coming from the bundle. Then the creature did something unexpected. It reached into a pouch on its side and pulled out a small device. The device glowed with blue light, and suddenly words filled the air. Not spoken words, but somehow Minji could understand them in her mind. Please, the voice said. It was deep and rough, but filled with desperation. Please do not run. My offspring requires aid. Your species. You heal the small ones, yes? Minji felt her fear begin to change into something else. This was not a monster attacking the hospital. This was a parent seeking help for a sick child. Dr. Shungjin stepped forward slowly, his hands raised to show he meant no harm. You want us to help your baby? He asked, speaking clearly. The creature's golden eyes seemed to fill with hope. Yes, my knowledge of your language is small, but I have traveled far. Many told me your species helps those who suffer, even strangers, even enemies. The crying from the bundle grew weaker. Minji's nurse instincts took over. She had heard thousands of babies cry in her career. This cry was different. This was the cry of a baby who was very, very sick. May I see the baby? Minji asked, taking a small step forward. The creature looked at her for a long moment. Then, with movements so gentle they surprised her, it began to unwrap the bundle. What Minji saw made her heart ache. Inside the soft cloth was a tiny creature that looked like a miniature version of its parent, but where the adult scales were, bright and shimmering, the baby's scales were dull and gray. Its breathing was fast and shallow. Its little golden eyes were barely open. "Oh," Minji whispered. She had seen this look before, in human babies. This little one was dying. Dr. Jiwan arrived at that moment, having followed them down from the 4th floor. She was a pediatric specialist with 20 years of experience. When she saw the baby, her medical training kicked in immediately. "Respiratory distress," she said quietly to Dr. Shungjin. "Look at the breathing pattern and the skin color. Those scales should probably be brighter, right?" The creature, the father, Minji realized, nodded sadly. "In health, scales shine like star metal. But my offspring grows weak. I have searched many worlds. Many species turned us away, some from fear. Some said their medicine would not work. Others," the creature's voice grew bitter. "Others said they had no time for refugees." "Refugees?" Dr. Shungjin asked. Through the translation device, the creature began to tell his story. His name was Veltar, and he belonged to a species called the Drakmiri. They had once been a proud and advanced civilization, but their homeworld had been destroyed by a cosmic disaster. The few survivors had scattered across the galaxy in small ships trying to find new homes. "My mate carried our first offspring when disaster struck," Veltar explained. "We escaped in damaged ship. No proper medical facilities. She died giving birth. I tried to care for little one alone, but I am warrior, not healer. My offspring grows weaker each day." Dr. Dongho had also come down from the 4th floor. As a specialist in newborn care, he could see the signs that the others might miss. "How long has the baby been sick?" he asked. 22 of your days," Veltar replied. "I have visited 12 worlds. Some turned weapons on us. Others said biology. Too different to help. One species tried, but their medicine made offspring worse." Minji felt tears starting in her eyes. 22 days. This father had been traveling across space for over 3 weeks, desperately seeking help for his dying child, and humans were his last hope. "What made you come to Earth?" Dr. Jiwan asked. "Stories," Veltar said simply. "Other refugees speak of humans. They say your species is young but has gift for healing. They say you help even enemies, even those who are different. I had nowhere else to go." The baby made a weak sound, and Veltar's whole body tensed with worry. Minji could see the love and fear in his golden eyes. It was the same look she had seen in thousands of human parents. "Bring the baby to the pediatric intensive care unit," Dr. Shungjin said suddenly. "We'll do what we can." "You will help?" Veltar asked, his voice filled with disbelief. "Of course we'll help," Minji said firmly. "That's what we do here. We take care of sick children." Dr. Jiwan was already thinking like a doctor. "We'll need to set up isolation protocols. We don't know what diseases might transfer between species. And we'll need to study the baby's biology to understand what's wrong." "I will tell you what I know," Veltar said eagerly. "It is not much. Our medical knowledge was lost with our homeworld. But I remember some things." As they walked toward the pediatric intensive care unit, Minji noticed something that made her smile. Other hospital staff were watching from doorways and corners. At first they looked frightened, but as they saw Veltar gently carrying his sick baby, their expressions began to change. Nurse Yuna from the baby unit was waiting for them when they arrived. She had already prepared an isolation room and was setting up monitoring equipment. "What do we know about the patient?" she asked, as professional as if she dealt with alien babies every day. "Very little," Dr. Jiwan admitted. "We're going to have to learn as we go." Veltar carefully placed his offspring on the examination table. The baby was so small and fragile looking. Its breathing was getting more labored. "What do you call your baby?" Minji asked gently. "Ketri," Veltar replied. "In our language it means little star." Dr. Dongho began taking basic measurements while Dr. Jiwan observed the baby's breathing patterns. Nurse Yuna prepared various monitoring devices, adapting them as best she could for a non-human patient. The bone structure is similar to humans in some ways, Dr. Dongho observed. But the lung capacity seems much larger. And look at these scales. They seem to change color slightly with each breath. Body temperature is higher than human normal, Nurse Yuna reported. But for this species, that might be normal. Veltar watched everything with desperate hope in his eyes. "Can you help Ketri?" he asked. Dr. Sungjin looked at his team. They were all thinking the same thing. They had no idea what they were doing. They had never treated an alien before. They didn't understand Drakmiri biology. They didn't have the right equipment or medicine, but they also saw a dying baby and a desperate father who had traveled across the galaxy for help. "We'll do everything we can," Dr. Sungjin promised. And in that moment, Minji realized that something historic was happening. This was not just about saving one baby. This was about proving that humans would help anyone who needed it, no matter how different they were. The real work was just beginning. Over the next few hours, Veltar shared his story with the medical team. As they worked to understand little Ketri's condition, the Drakmiri father painted a picture of loss and desperation that moved everyone who heard it. The Drakmiri had been an advanced civilization for thousands of years. They were skilled in technology and space travel, but they were also known as fierce warriors. Most other species feared them and kept their distance. "We were proud," Veltar explained through his translation device. "Perhaps too proud. We thought our strength made us safe. We thought our weapons could protect us from anything. But no weapons could protect them from what happened to their star." Dr. Minho, a xenobiology expert who had been called in to consult, listened carefully as Veltar described the cosmic disaster. "Our sun began to collapse without warning," Veltar said. "Our scientists had only days to prepare. Most of our population could not be saved. Only a few thousand escaped in whatever ships we could find." Minji watched Veltar as he spoke. The big alien's voice stayed steady, but she could see the pain in his golden eyes. He had lost his entire world, his culture, everything he had ever known. "My mate Zara Lin was with Offspring when we fled," Veltar continued. "Our escape ship was damaged. Life support systems failed several times. We had no proper medical facilities. When time came for birth..." He stopped speaking for a moment. "I could not save her. I know nothing of healing. I am warrior. I know only how to fight and destroy." Dr. Jiwon looked up from where she was examining Ketri. "You've kept your baby alive for over 3 weeks in space. That's not nothing. That takes love and dedication." "Love does not cure sickness," Veltar replied sadly. "Each day Ketri grows weaker. I watch my offspring die slowly, and I can do nothing." Nurse Yuna had been quietly taking notes about everything Veltar told them. "What do you know about Drakmiri biology? How are your babies different from ours?" Veltar tried to remember what he could. "Drakmiri young need warmth from binary suns of homeworld. They need certain minerals in air, and..." He paused, looking embarrassed. "They need connection with parent, not just physical. Mental connection, emotional bond. Without this, they become weak and sad." "Like bonding," Dr. Dongho said thoughtfully. "Human babies need emotional connection too. They fail to thrive without it." "But I have been with Ketri always," Veltar protested. "I hold offspring. I speak soft words. But connection grows weaker each day." Dr. Sungjin was beginning to understand the scope of the problem. "So Ketri needs proper atmosphere, the right kind of light, specific minerals, and emotional bonding. And we don't have any of those things." It seemed impossible. How could they recreate the conditions of an alien homeworld in a human hospital? Dr. Su-Young, a biochemist who had just arrived, began taking samples of Ketri's blood and scales. "Maybe we can't recreate everything exactly," she said, "but we might be able to find substitutes. Human medicine is good at adaptation." "Nursey." Minji had been thinking about something else. She watched how Veltar looked at his baby. The love was obvious. But there was also fear and sadness. Those emotions might be making the bonding problem worse. Veltar, she said gently, can you tell us about better times? What was it like when Ketri was first born? The alien father's expression changed. For the first time, Minji saw him smile. It was a strange smile, with sharp teeth, but it was definitely a smile. First day was wonderful, he said. Ketri opened eyes and saw me, made small sounds. Scales were bright silver like mother's. When I held offspring, I could feel thoughts. Not words, but feelings. Joy, curiosity, love. And now, Dr. Jiwan asked, now I feel only fear and pain from Ketri, and offspring feels my fear. It makes everything worse. The medical team was beginning to understand. This wasn't just a medical problem. It was an emotional one, too. Veltar's desperation and fear were making it harder for his baby to bond with him. Dr. Taehyung, a pediatric surgeon, had been studying the scans they had taken of Ketri. The lung structure is fascinating, he said. It's like the baby needs a much higher oxygen concentration than we have on Earth, but also different gases. Look at these specialized air sacs. Can we modify our ventilation systems? Dr. Shungjin asked. Maybe, but we'd be guessing at what gases to use. Veltar overheard this conversation. I have atmospheric data from our ship, he said, and mineral, composition of homeworld air. Will this help? Dr. Suyong's eyes lit up. Yes. If we know what the air was supposed to contain, we can try to recreate it. For the first time since arriving at the hospital, Veltar looked hopeful. You truly believe you can help Ketri? We're going to try everything we can, Minji promised. But even as she said it, she could see that the baby was getting worse. Ketri's breathing was more labored than before. The tiny scales were becoming even duller. They were running out of time. Dr. Wu Sung, the hospital director, arrived with several other specialists. Word was spreading throughout the medical community about their unusual patient. Experts from around the world were offering to help via video consultation. We've had calls from pediatric specialists in Tokyo, London, and New York, Dr. Wu Sung reported. Everyone wants to help. This is the first case of interspecies medicine in human history. But we need to be careful, Dr. Minho warned. Too many people involved could slow us down, and we don't know how much time we have. As if responding to his words, Ketri made a weak sound. The baby's breathing was becoming even more difficult. Veltar leaned over the examination table, his large hands hovering near his offspring. Please, he whispered, do not leave me alone. You are all I have left of our people, all I have left of your mother. Minji felt tears in her eyes again. She had worked with many families facing loss, but this was different. This wasn't just about one family. This was about the survival of an entire species. Dr. Shungjin, she said quietly, what if we focus on the bonding first? If we can help Veltar connect better with Ketri, maybe the baby will fight harder to survive. What do you mean? Well, in the NICU, we encourage skin-to-skin contact between parents and babies. It helps with bonding and actually improves medical outcomes. Maybe there's something similar we can do here. Dr. Dongho nodded enthusiastically. Kangaroo care. It's proven to help human babies in critical condition. The parent's body heat, heartbeat, and breathing patterns help regulate the baby's systems. Veltar looked confused. Kangaroo? It's a way of holding your baby very close to your chest, Minji explained. It helps human babies feel safe and connected to their parents. I have tried holding Ketri close, Veltar said. But offspring seems to have trouble breathing when pressed against my chest. Dr. Taehyung had an idea. What if we modify one of our incubators? We could create an environment where Veltar can touch Ketri safely, while still providing the right atmosphere and monitoring. And we could set up the lighting to mimic binary suns, added Dr. Suyung. I've been researching the spectral data from Veltar's ship. I think we can create something close to homeworld conditions. For the first time, they had a real plan. It wasn't perfect, and they were still guessing about many things. But it was based on both human medical knowledge and what they had learned about Drakmiri needs. How long will this take? Veltar asked urgently. A few hours to set everything up. Dr. Shungjin replied. Veltar looked at his baby, who was now barely moving. I do not know if we have few hours. Then we work faster, Minji said firmly. Nobody gives up on Ketri, not while there's still hope. As the medical team rushed to gather equipment and modify their systems, Minji stayed with Veltar and Ketri. She watched the alien father gently stroke his baby's tiny hand with one large finger. Tell me about Zara Lin, she said softly. Veltar's golden eyes grew distant. She was scientist, very smart. She would know what to do for Ketri. She always knew what to do. What would she tell you now? Minji asked. Veltar thought for a moment. She would say, do not fear so much. Fear makes everything worse. Focus on love. Focus on hope. Minji smiled. She sounds very wise. I think she would be proud of how far you've come to help your baby. As they waited for the team to finish their preparations, Minji realized something important. This wasn't just about saving one alien baby. This was about proving that love and compassion could cross any barrier, even the barriers between species. The next 18 hours were the most challenging in the hospital's history. Dr. Shungjin assembled a team that worked around the clock, combining human medical knowledge with guesswork about alien biology. Dr. Taehyung led the effort to modify a high-tech incubator. Using atmospheric data from Veltar's ship, Dr. Soo-young calculated the gas mixture that Ketri needed. It was complex, not just oxygen, but several other gases that didn't exist naturally on Earth. We're going to have to synthesize some of these compounds, Dr. Soo-young explained to the team. The good news is that our chemistry lab has most of what we need. The bad news is that we're essentially creating an alien atmosphere from scratch. Meanwhile, Dr. Minho worked with the hospital's lighting technicians to replicate the binary star system of the Drakmiri homeworld. Using spectral analysis from Veltar's data, they set up a complex array of different colored lights. Drakmiri apparently evolved under two suns, Dr. Minho explained. One was similar to our sun, but the other was much bluer and gave off different radiation. We're trying to recreate both. Nurse Yuna focused on the medical monitoring systems. She had to adapt human equipment to work with alien biology. Heart rate, breathing, brain activity. The patterns are all different, she reported. But the basic principles seem similar. Life is life, even if the details are different. The most challenging part was creating a system that would allow Veltar to maintain physical contact with Ketri while keeping the baby in a controlled environment. Dr. Dongho designed a modified incubator with special glove ports that were large enough for Veltar's hands. The key is that Ketri needs to feel the parent's touch and warmth, Dr. Dongho explained. But we also need to control temperature, humidity, and gas composition precisely. While the technical team worked on equipment, Minji focused on helping Veltar prepare emotionally. She had noticed that whenever the alien father became very worried or fearful, Ketri seemed to get worse. In human medicine, we've learned that the parent's emotional state affects the child, Minji explained to Veltar. If you're calm and hopeful, it helps Ketri be calm too. But how can I be calm when my offspring is dying? Veltar asked. You don't have to pretend everything is fine, Minji replied. But try to focus on positive things. Tell Ketri about the good memories. Talk about the future you want to have together. Dr. Ji-won had been studying the blood samples Dr. Soo-young had taken. I'm seeing some interesting patterns, she reported. Ketri's blood chemistry is similar to a human baby with severe respiratory distress syndrome, but there are also some unique elements. What kind of elements? Dr. Shungjin asked. Trace. Minerals that don't exist on Earth. They seem to be essential for the baby's metabolism. Without them, Ketri's body can't process nutrients properly. This was a problem they hadn't expected. Even if they fixed the breathing issues, Ketri might still die from malnutrition. Veltar overheard this conversation. Our ship has stores of Drakmiri food supplements, he offered. They contain minerals from homeworld. Can you get them? Dr. Soo-young asked eagerly. Ship is in orbit around your planet. I came down in small shuttle, but I can call ship. Ask them to send supplies. Dr. Wusung stepped in. We'll coordinate with our space agencies, whatever you need. As word spread about what was happening at Seoul Metropolitan Hospital, offers of help came from around the world. Medical experts shared research. Governments offered resources. Even private companies donated equipment and expertise. I've never seen anything like this, Dr. Wusung told Minji during a brief break. The entire global medical community is united around saving one baby. It's not just about the baby, Minji replied. It's about proving who we are as a species. This is our chance to show that humans care about all life, not just human life. By the second day, they had everything ready. The modified incubator looked like something from a science fiction movie. Multiple gas lines fed into it, creating the complex atmosphere Ketri needed. The lighting system cycled through different colors and intensities, mimicking the day-night cycle of the Drakmiri homeworld. Monitoring equipment tracked dozens of vital signs. Most importantly, the incubator allowed Veltar to put his hands inside and touch his baby directly. Are you ready? Dr. Shungjin asked Veltar. The alien father nodded, though his golden eyes showed his fear. What if this does not work? Then we try something else, Minji said firmly. We don't give up. They carefully transferred Ketri into the new incubator. For several minutes, nothing seemed to change. The baby's breathing was still labored. The scales were still dull gray. Then Dr. Suyong began introducing the mineral supplements they had retrieved from Veltar's ship. She had created a feeding solution that could be given intravenously, bypassing Ketri's weak digestive system. Trace mineral levels are rising, Nurse Yuna reported, watching her monitoring equipment. Veltar placed his large hands gently on his baby's tiny body. Hello, little star, he whispered through his translator. Papa is here. You are safe now. For a moment, nothing happened. Then incredibly, Ketri's breathing seemed to ease slightly. Heart rate is stabilizing, Dr. Jiwon reported excitedly. Brain activity is increasing, added Dr. Dongho. But the most amazing change was in Ketri's scales. They began to show hints of silver like tiny mirrors catching light. It's working, Dr. Taehyung said in amazement. It's actually working. Veltar began to make a low, rumbling sound deep in his chest. At first, the medical team was alarmed, but then they realized he was humming, a Drakmiri lullaby. As Veltar hummed, Ketri's condition continued to improve. The baby's breathing became stronger and more regular. The silver in the scales grew brighter. The bonding is happening, Minji observed. Look how the baby responds to the father's voice. Dr. Minho was fascinated by what he was seeing. This suggests that Drakmiri young have evolved to need specific parental behaviors for proper development. It's like how some Earth species require particular environmental triggers. Over the next few hours, Ketri made steady progress. The baby began moving more, making soft sounds that seemed stronger than before. When Veltar spoke, the tiny alien would turn toward the sound. Papa knows you are fighting, Veltar murmured to his baby. You are strong like your mother, like all our people. You are a survivor. Nurse Yuna had been tracking all of Ketri's vital signs. Everything is improving, she reported. Oxygen levels, heart rate, brain activity, all moving in the right direction. But the real breakthrough came when Dr. Suyong noticed something unexpected in the latest blood tests. The baby's immune system is strengthening, she announced, not just recovering but actually becoming more robust than before. What does that mean? Veltar asked. It means Ketri isn't just surviving, Dr. Jiwon explained. Your baby is thriving. The combination of proper atmosphere, nutrition, and bonding, it's working better than we hoped. For the first time since arriving at the hospital, Veltar allowed himself to believe that his baby might actually live. The big alien's shoulders shook as emotions overwhelmed him. Thank you, he said to the medical team. I have no words in any language for what you have done. We're not finished yet, Dr. Shungjin cautioned. Ketri is better, but still needs time to fully recover. I understand, Veltar replied. But for first time in many days, I have hope. Minji watched the alien father gently stroke his baby's hand. The love between them was obvious now, no longer blocked by fear and desperation. And as that bond grew stronger, Ketri grew stronger too. Dr. Sungjin, she said quietly, I think we're witnessing something historic. Not just the first successful, interspecies medical treatment, but proof that love really is universal. As night fell over Seoul, the medical team continued their careful monitoring. But now they weren't just fighting to keep Ketri alive. They were nurturing the growth of something that might change both species forever, a bridge of understanding and compassion that spanned the stars. On the third day, something remarkable happened. Dr. Soo-young was running her morning test when she noticed that Ketri's blood chemistry had changed dramatically overnight. This is incredible, she told the assembled team. Look at these numbers. The baby's body is not just processing the mineral supplements now, it's actually storing them efficiently. And the oxygen absorption rate has improved by 60%. Dr. Ji-won checked the baby's reflexes and responses. Muscle tone is much better. And look at this. Ketri is tracking movement with the eyes now. That's a sign of improved brain function. But the most obvious change was in the baby's appearance. Ketri's scales had transformed from dull gray to bright silver. They shimmered like tiny mirrors, reflecting the artificial binary sunlight in beautiful patterns. Veltar had barely left his baby's side for 3 days. He looked exhausted, but happier than anyone had seen him since his arrival. Ketri is becoming beautiful like mother, he said proudly. And strong. I can feel thoughts now, not fear and pain, but curiosity and wonder. Nurse Minji had been observing the bonding process between father and baby. It's amazing how much Ketri responds to your voice and touch, she told Veltar. Human babies do the same thing, but this seems even more intense. Drakmiri young bond deeply with parents, Veltar explained. In our culture, we say baby and parent share 2 hearts but 1 spirit. When spirit connection is strong, body becomes strong too. Dr. Dongho was fascinated by this concept. So, emotional health directly affects physical health in your species? Yes. Sick Drakmiri who feel loved and connected heal faster than those who are alone or afraid. This is why I was so worried. Without proper bonding, Ketri would die even with good medicine. Dr. Minho had been documenting everything for the medical journals that would surely be written about this case. This suggests that successful interspecies medicine needs to consider psychological and cultural factors, not just biology, he noted. The medical team had learned something important about themselves too. Over the past 3 days, they had worked together more closely than ever before. Nurses, doctors, and specialists from different departments had combined their knowledge in ways that surprised everyone. We've created something new here, Dr. Sungjin observed. Not just a treatment for one patient, but a whole new approach to medicine. Collaborative, adaptive, compassionate. Nurse Yuna had been thinking about the bigger picture. Word is spreading throughout the hospital about what we've accomplished. Other departments want to know how we did it. They want to apply these methods to human patients too. Indeed, the success with Ketri was changing how the entire hospital approached difficult cases. The teamwork, creativity, and refusal to give up were inspiring everyone. But the real breakthrough came when Dr. Soo-young made an unexpected discovery in Ketri's latest blood samples. I need to show you all something, she announced excitedly. Ketri's immune system isn't just recovering, it's developing antibodies to diseases that don't even exist on the Drakmiri homeworld. What do you mean? Dr. Ji-won asked. The baby's body is learning to defend against Earth pathogens, viruses, bacteria, toxins that Drakmiri have never encountered before. It's like Ketri is becoming adapted to live on our planet. This was unexpected news. Veltar listened carefully as Dr. Soo-young explained what she had found. This is good thing? He asked. It's a very good thing, Dr. Tae-hyung confirmed. It means Ketri will be able to live safely on Earth if needed. Your baby won't be vulnerable to our diseases. Veltar was quiet for a long moment. I had not thought about future beyond keeping Ketri alive, he admitted. But yes, this is important. We have no homeworld to return to. The conversation turned to practical matters. Where would Veltar and Ketri live? How would they survive on a planet so different from their own? Dr. Wusung had been thinking about this too. We've had inquiries from governments and research institutions around the world, he told them. Everyone wants to learn from what we've accomplished here, and everyone wants to help Veltar and Ketri build a new life. I do not need much, Veltar said. Just safe place for Ketri to grow. And perhaps purpose. I was warrior on homeworld, but I do not want to be warrior here. Earth people have shown me different way to be strong. Minji had an idea. What if you stayed here at the hospital? You could help us understand Drakmiri, biology better. And if other alien refugees come to Earth, you could help us communicate with them. Veltar's golden eyes lit up with interest. You think more of my people might come? Word travels fast in space, Dr. Minho said. If other Drakmiri survivors hear that Earth has successfully treated a Drakmiri infant, they might come here too, and not just Drakmiri, added Dr. Shungjin. Other species might hear about our success. Earth could become known as a place where any species can find medical help. This possibility excited the entire medical team. They had already learned so much from treating one alien patient. Imagine what they could learn from treating many different species. Over the next few days, Ketri continued to improve rapidly. The baby was now alert and active, responding to sounds and reaching for objects with tiny hands. The scales had developed a beautiful iridescent quality, shifting from silver to blue to gold depending on the light. Ketri is ready to leave. Intensive care, Dr. Jiwan announced. All vital signs are not just normal but excellent. They moved the baby to a regular room with the modified atmosphere system and lighting that Ketri still needed. Veltar was able to hold his baby outside the incubator for the first time since arriving on Earth. Minji watched as the alien father cradled his healthy baby. How does it feel? She asked. Like miracle, Veltar replied. 3 weeks ago, I thought I would lose everything. Now Ketri is healthy and strong and we have new family. He gestured to the medical team that had become so important to them both. New family? Dr. Dongho asked. Yes. Drakmiri believe that those who save your life become family. You are all Ketri's adoption parents now. This creates bond that lasts forever. The medical team was moved by this concept. They had all grown attached to the little alien baby during the difficult treatment process. What does that mean, practically speaking? Dr. Shungjin asked. It means Ketri will grow up knowing that humans are family. When my offspring is adult, this baby will remember your kindness. And Ketri will teach own offspring about humans who choose to heal instead of harm. As they talked, news crews had begun gathering outside the hospital. The story of the alien baby's recovery was spreading around the world. But Dr. Wusung had been careful to protect Veltar and Ketri's privacy. The whole world wants to know about our success, he told them, but we won't share any information without your permission. Veltar considered this. Perhaps it is good for people to know. If other refugees hear this story, they will know Earth is a safe place to seek help. That evening, Dr. Wusung held a carefully planned press conference. He explained the basic facts of Ketri's case without revealing personal details. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Messages of support came from around the world. Medical facilities offered to share resources and knowledge. Governments pledged funding for interspecies medicine research. And most importantly, other alien refugees began changing course toward Earth. We've started something that will change everything, Minji realized as she watched the news coverage. We're not just a hospital anymore. We're Earth's first center for universal medicine. Veltar agreed. On my homeworld, we had saying, small kindness creates large changes. You showed kindness to one sick baby. Now entire galaxy will know, humans as healers and protectors. As the days passed, plans began forming for Earth's first interspecies medical center. It would be built next to Seoul Metropolitan Hospital, with advanced facilities for treating patients from any world. And at the center of it all would be the story of a desperate father who traveled across space, seeking help for his dying baby. and the human medical team who proved that love and compassion could overcome any barrier, even the barriers between worlds. 6 months later, Nurse Minji walked through the halls of the new Interspecies Medical Center with a sense of wonder that had never faded. The building buzzed with activity as medical teams treated patients from dozens of different worlds. In No, the pediatric wing, she could hear the sounds of many different species, chirps, clicks, musical tones, and even some sounds that human ears couldn't detect without special equipment. But somehow, it all felt familiar now. Her first stop was always room 1 where it all began. Ketri, now 6 months old, was playing in a specially designed nursery while Veltar worked at his desk nearby. "Good morning, little star," Minji said in Drakmiri. She had been learning the language, and Ketri always responded happily to familiar sounds from the homeworld. The baby Drakmiri was remarkable to see. Ketri had grown significantly, now about the size of a human 1-year-old. The scales shimmered in constantly changing patterns of silver, blue, and gold. When happy, they sparkled like stars. When tired or hungry, they dimmed to softer colors. "Ketri is learning to crawl," Veltar reported proudly. "And yesterday, offspring spoke first word." "What was it?" Minji asked excitedly. "Minji," Veltar replied with what she had learned was a Drakmiri smile. "In our language, it sounded like musical chime." Minji felt tears of joy in her eyes. To think that her name was this amazing baby's first word. Veltar had adapted well to life on Earth. He worked as the hospital's first alien cultural liaison, helping other refugee patients feel safe and understood. His gentle manner and obvious love for his child had made him popular with staff and patients alike. "How many new patients this week?" Minji asked. 7, Veltar replied. 3 Zephyrians with respiratory problems, 2 crystalline beings with mineral deficiency, 1 aquatic species with pressure sickness, and... He paused dramatically. 1 more Drakmiri. Another Drakmiri? Minji's eyes widened. Elder female named Kesara. She heard about Ketri and traveled 2 months to reach Earth. She is in examination room 5 now. This was incredible news. Ketri would have contact with another member of their species. Minji made her way to examination room 5, where she found Dr. Jiwan working with an elderly Drakmiri female. Kesara was larger than Veltar, with deep purple scales marked by intricate silver patterns that indicated great age and wisdom. "The mineral supplements are working well," Dr. Jiwan reported. Kesara was suffering from starvation, but her condition is already improving. Through her translator, Kesara spoke in the formal, poetic manner of Elder Drakmiri. "I give gratitude beyond measure, healer of small ones. Word of your kindness has spread through all refugee ships. You have become legend among the scattered people." "We're just doing what anyone should do," Dr. Jiwan replied modestly. "No," Kesara said firmly. "Many species would not help strangers. Many species fear what they do not understand. But humans choose healing over fear. This makes you special in galaxy." As they talked, Kesara explained how word of Ketri's recovery had spread through the refugee communities. Survivors from dozens of destroyed worlds had heard the story. Some were already traveling toward Earth, hoping to find the same compassion that had saved the Drakmiri baby. "How many refugees are coming?" Minji asked. "Difficult to know exact numbers," Kesara replied. "But perhaps hundreds, maybe thousands, all seeking new home and safety." This was both exciting and challenging news. Dr. Wusung had been preparing for this possibility, but the scale was larger than anyone had imagined. Minji continued her rounds through the medical center. In the next wing, she found Dr. Dongho, working with a family of crystalline beings. They looked like living gemstones, beautiful but fragile. Their young were sick because Earth's atmosphere didn't contain the trace minerals they needed. "We're adapting the same techniques we used for Ketri," Dr. Dongho explained. "Modified atmosphere, specialized nutrition, and lots of family bonding time." The crystalline parents were grateful, but confused by the human approach to medicine. "Your species includes emotional healing with physical healing," the mother observed through her translator. "This is unusual. Most advanced species separate mind healing from body healing. We've learned that they work better together, Minji replied. In another room, Dr. Taehyung was treating a group of aquatic beings who breathed liquid instead of air. They had developed pressure sickness during their long journey to Earth in inadequate ships. The engineering challenges are incredible, Dr. Taehyung told Minji, but also exciting. Every new species teaches us something new about biology and medicine. The aquatics communicated through color changes in their translucent skin. Right now, they were showing patterns that their translator identified as gratitude and wonder. They can't believe that land dwellers would go to so much trouble to help water dwellers, Dr. Taehyung explained. Throughout the medical center, similar scenes were playing out. Human medical teams working with alien refugees, solving problems that had never been faced before, proving again and again that compassion could overcome any barrier. Dr. Shungjin found Minji in the central corridor and walked with her toward the main conference room. The Global Health Council wants to establish similar centers in 10 more countries, he reported, and the United Nations is creating a new department for refugee medicine. How do we train enough people? Minji asked. That's what today's meeting is about. We're going to start the first interspecies medicine program. Students from around the world will come here to learn. They entered the conference room where the original team had gathered. Dr. Ji-won, Dr. Dongho, Dr. Taehyung, Dr. Soo-young, Dr. Minho, Nurse Yuna, and all the others who had worked so hard to save Ketri. But they weren't alone. Veltar was there, along with Kesara and representatives from several other species. The refugee patients had become partners in developing new medical techniques. 6 months ago, we saved one baby, Dr. Woo-sung began. Today, we're planning to save thousands, but more than that, we're changing how the galaxy sees humanity. Kesara spoke up. Before coming to Earth, I heard many stories about humans. Some said you were violent and primitive. Others said you were young and foolish, but now I know truth. She stood, her purple scales shimmering with emotion. Humans have gift that most advanced species have lost. You remember that all life is precious. You choose healing over hurting. You make strangers into family. What we've accomplished here, added a Zephyrian representative, will be remembered for generations. Our children will grow up knowing that when they are sick or afraid, they can come to Earth and find help. Veltar had been quiet during most of the meeting, but now he asked to speak. Ketri is not just my offspring anymore, he said. Baby has become symbol of hope for all refugees. And you humans have become more than healers. You have become proof that galaxy can be place of kindness instead of cruelty. As the meeting continued, they planned for the future. Training programs, new medical centers, research partnerships, and cultural exchange programs that would benefit both humans and aliens. But for Minji, the most important moment came at the end of the day when she returned to room 1. Ketri was playing with a new toy, a holographic projection of Earth from space, showing the blue and green world that had become the baby's home. Look, little star, Veltar was saying to his child. This is world that saved your life. This is home now. Ketri babbled happily in response, tiny hands reaching for the spinning image of Earth. Do you think Ketri will remember? Minji asked. When grown up, will your baby remember what happened here? Drakmiri never forget, Veltar replied. Ketri will remember everything. And when my offspring has offspring, they will hear story too. For all generations, our people will remember that humans chose love over fear. Minji picked up Ketri, marveling at how the once-dying baby had grown into a healthy, happy child. The little Drakmiri looked up at her with golden eyes full of trust and affection. We changed everything, didn't we? Minji said to Veltar. Yes, he agreed. One sick baby brought 2 species together. Now entire galaxy knows that Earth is place of healing and hope. Outside the window, they could see stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky. Somewhere among those stars, more refugee ships were traveling toward Earth, carrying sick and injured beings who had heard the story of a dragon who invaded a hospital with a baby in his arms, and the human nurse who wept when she discovered the reason. They were coming because they had learned that on Earth, no one suffered alone. that humans would help anyone who needed it, no matter how different they were. And it had all started with one desperate father's love for his dying child and a medical team's refusal to give up hope. As Minji held Ketri and watched the stars, she knew that this was just the beginning. Earth had found its place in the galaxy not as conquerors or warriors, but as something much more powerful, as healers and protectors of all life. The invasion of Seoul Metropolitan Hospital had ended, not with destruction, but with the birth of a new age of compassion that would echo across the stars for generations to come.